While this video documents visual and auditory information, the significance, meaning, and context derived from it are subject to individual analysis and, as such, should be treated as subjective interpretations, not indisputable facts.
Whether it's Summer Wells' case, whether it's Michael Vaughn's case, whether it's the Watts case, whether it's any case where people have Sophie Long, even though I think that's pretty much over. But the point is, it doesn't matter what we say or do at this point. Now that these cases has pretty much been infiltrated, they're never going to be about Michael Long. It's never going to be about Michael Vaughn. I said Michael Long. Jesus. It's never going to be about Michael Vaughn. It's never going to be about Summer Wells anymore, because now it's all entrenched. Around it is the drama. It's all the drama around it. The people who have involved themselves. That's what it's about. And going around trying to fight battles for these victims' family members is not helping them at all. It's keeping the drama going. You may think that you are doing something good in this case, but you're just making it worse. And that's why I've asked the question in my title says, how far is too far when contacting victims' families? And is it really about you finding awareness around these victims and getting to the bottom of what happened? Or is it about self-gain? Let's be real. First of all, I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm not going to allow people to say what I can and cannot talk about. I'm not going to allow anyone to police my community and police my channel and tell us that we are not allowed to discuss Sebastian's case, or tell us that we're not allowed to discuss the specifics of the case, or tell us that we're not allowed to use hashtags for certain things. That's why my title is I won't take part. If y'all want to police each other, and then it seems like, in my opinion, that a lot of people go along with this so they can fit in. And all that's going to end up happening is it's going to implode. It's going to implode. You're going to police each other to the point where nobody's going to be able to talk about true crime at all, because every time somebody opens their mouth, you find something wrong with it. I'm not doing it. If it means that I stand by myself and I have no friends, I'm not doing it. Who are you to say that I'm not allowed to talk about what Chris and Katie Proudfoot have said out of their own mouths? Who are you to say that I'm not allowed to discuss the Bastion multiple days at a time? Who made anyone the police or a hall monitor of YouTube? Is a real concern, a very real concern, when a judge can tell you that you're not allowed to speak about somebody. That right there. And if other creators want to say, I know what they're going to say already. Oh, that's what she gets. She deserves it. She harassed them, Brittany. Okay. Well, what if they go after you next? What if they go after you next?
We bite back, but we bite back in court. We bite back with the feds in a federal courthouse, not on X, Thank you to Stephen Fisher for accepting to speak with us, well, our attorney, and you want to host it on X. Let's do it. Again, we're not trying to have a circus, but we're setting the record straight, and a lot of these guys are going to end up in court to explain themselves. But this might be my only live this week because I'm still obviously waiting to go through a few things that we are filing today, tomorrow. If today's Monday, yeah, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So all up until Friday, we have filings coming out, and until those are with the clerk of courts, there's a little bit of a zip tie on me, and Hong is going to continue taking over. Illuminati, I'm going to give you a clue about what's going to come, and it's called a federal injunction, not a cease and desist. We're going to drag you through the courts, and we're going to drag you in every state if you live in, and we're going to bring you to Tennessee, we'll bring you to New York, we'll bring you to Pennsylvania. We're going to sue Illuminati, especially because I can't stand that person. You made it on my radar with your Illuminati. Come at me, don't come at other people.
Say it with my own eyes.
Cajun Cutie says an injunction is a court order requiring a person to cease doing a specific action. There are 3 types of injunctions: permanent injunction, temporary restraining orders, and preliminary injunctions. Thank you. Very well said, Cajun Cutie. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I didn't want to leave here and go into Google. I wanted to go check it out too.
Yeah, I just never heard it worded that way, is all.
You can write cease and desist on your own and serve somebody. And if they continue, then that's when you've got to step into the legal form and go into court and file and go from there.
The lawyer is representing Seth.
Okay.
And Nick.
So Nick said 4, that there are 4.
There's more coming. And threats came from.
Oh, sorry,
Well, I wonder if these creators have an idea that it's coming and that's why they didn't go live today.
can I
Connection. Have you made that connection, Nick? Is that really Nick, y'all?
look? Listen, we called that shit. How many months ago did we call it? How many months ago did we call that shit?
Yeah.
And were we not talking about that? I mean,
Are you coming in my chat dropping bombs?
or is that there was just a couple other times in here.
No, they're saying that's Nick.
Okay.
Well, hello.
Okay,
Nick.
just checking.
Isn't that some crazy shit though? Like we called that shit out how many months ago? It's probably like 3 months ago now that we made that connection, and then everybody just kind of like let it go by the wayside, and
We're almost positive they're related prophet sisters. I'll tell you, it's certainly not. It is not a common name. That is for sure.
Listen,
Can y'all drop Nick's link, which I think we pretty much share it anyway because of fair use, but drop Nick's link in chat. This case was solved months ago. I mean,
No.
I'll just say, Nick, I do appreciate you. I do appreciate you putting out and dropping these tidbits of information and everything you're doing to help. I don't understand how the original creators, like all of you, didn't just get because it's not that easy. It's not that easy. Like
he's trying to get us to.
Nick, we appreciate you being here with us tonight. And Tony and everybody, we appreciate you guys. All right, here we go.
Go back into those details.
Or what would ceasing and desisting look like on their end? Like what would that what would you need to see to believe that that was a cease and desist?
Right. Well, as you said, is to stop the misinformation, the false information, and stop the defaming of my clients, and keep your focus on what the issue at hand in finding this young man and what that takes and talking about that. Putting my clients at the forefront when the investigation at the forefront should be Sebastian and his family. That's where it becomes a problem. And they can. Hey, they want it. It's a fine line. I got you. And my clients they skirt that line as well. I'm not going to sit here and say that they're saints. That they skirt the line sometimes in the name of justice, as they believe. But they when you cross that line, and that's why the cease and desist letter went out first. Certainly, we had a right to go to the federal court here in Philadelphia and file for a preliminary injunction. We chose not to because you give people the chance to take the high road and move on. Their response was to then publish it and mock it as that this lawyer's fake and that everything is fake about it. This is all not serious. And I'm here to tell you that we're serious. I have no doubt I am a litigator. You can look at my background. I've done hundreds of jury trials. I go into court every day. So it is not anything, it is a field of battle where I am very familiar with. I'm saying I believe the rumor is that 15 of these cease and desist letters have gone out. I can't tell you the exact number, but I can assure you that it's nowhere near 15.
Okay. Well, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, so I know that I don't know where the magic number 15 came from. I guess maybe somebody has a Ouija board, or my 8-year-old has a magic 8-ball. So maybe the number just came out of the air, or they just saw it in a vision.
There's no telling.
But I can assure you that I keep track of my own emails. I'm a solo practitioner, so there is no other lawyer in my practice. There's me and my paralegal and a secretary. So I can assure you I'm aware of what's going out and how it's going out, and they're not anywhere near double digits in letters that have gone out. So.
Well, my question, I guess, is what happens to these creators that have received this the cease and desist, but they choose not to follow the cease and desist? What's the next step that you, as an attorney, have to follow to get more done to stop this stuff from happening?
Absolutely. So you remember, as an attorney, I'm an arm of a client. So my clients will make decisions. With the cease and desist order, we sent what we would file a proposed preliminary injunction with the federal court. And we basically showed them what we would be filing. And my client was skeptical about whether we should show that and whether we should do that. I told him, I was like, why not? I mean, they're going to have to get a chance to respond to it anyway. Why not show them what we developed? Maybe that might help them in understanding what it is we're asking them to stop doing and what we're going to provide to the court. So we provided what we would file if my client so chose to take that next step.
Oh, sorry. What is that? Oh, the skunk and the, okay, gotcha.
Nick says, thank you.
Mr. E says, we had a whole show on Nick. We said he was no one to toy with. No one listened. I don't understand why people, I'm going to tell you somebody else who had a whole show on Nick. My amazing friend, Jules of Thought, her name's allegedly innocent. Okay. And she, matter of fact, yeah, I compliment the girls all the time. I do. I tell women they're pretty. I never made that agreement, Sarah.
Anyway, so he's.
I didn't make that agreement. I never made that agreement, Sarah.
What? What's Sarah?
That girl's been talking about me since I never said that. I thought we weren't going to talk about her anymore. Has she spoken to you since I went on her panel? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, she has.
Oh Lord.
Not only that, I don't understand how that's an agreement that we made when I never made that agreement ever, and I didn't have any part in that decision. I did that deal with her, and she broke it.
Yeah, I was there during that, and it was kind of like you agreed not to talk about her, and she agreed not to talk about you, and then
she went on days and broke it. And you know what they said? They said I broke it. You know how they said I broke it? Because they said I broke it the next day, because the next day after we made the agreement, I announced in my chat that me and Granny had made a deal and that I wasn't going to speak on her no more, and that's how I broke it.
Oh man.
And I never spoke on her, and I went out of my way not to cause any problems with her or to talk badly about her at all. And she freaking dragged me on Jace, and that's when it broke.
Red, white, blue cat.
You know. At least she gets to get it off her chest. When I try to talk about it, everybody gets mad.
I'm
I
not
loved
mad.
it. I would just.
There he is. There he is.
Myself.
He's so cute. Why does he have a little tear in his eye?
I don't know. Probably because of the society.
Nobody asked them to stop covering Sebastian. Stop with the lies. If you're going to lie, it doesn't make sense to do it when, again, at this point, it's clear there are lawyers involved. They're fake lawyers. Go with whatever you want to say. But the fake lawyers are sending you very real paperwork, and it's a lot longer than a sentence about Sebastian. It outlines the crimes alleged, and maybe you can discuss them. Maybe you can discuss the billboards. Maybe you can discuss the finances. Maybe you can discuss the tip lines. Maybe you can discuss those things as well. And then when you add all of that up, it makes sense as to why you were asked to stop, right? And this is out to the creator. The creator knows who I am addressing. It's not stop spreading awareness. And there's never time, literally, when they say that it's never too late to make amends, it's never too late. And the creators that received those notices, it's not the end of the world at all. Yes, YouTube received the copy. Yes, TikTok received the copy. Yes, they are complying with it. But the person that holds grudges. But if this is the time for us to unite, this is the time. And Clue Who and Barbecue too. Sorry for the Clue Who. It's just like a Blue's Clues. But again, let's stuck in my head the Blue's Clues.
I would like to remind you that these cease and desist, once again, Granny, are not in any way preventing you or anyone else from talking about Sebastian and the case. The only thing that these cease and desist are for are to eliminate the false allegations that are being levied at Seth Rogers and his team. That's it. You can talk about Sebastian all day long. So if Christopher Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot were to present me with a cease and desist that were identical to this, then I would comply and make sure that I don't defame or falsely accuse them. But I would continue to talk about Sebastian like I think anybody else should do that receives one of them. It's not hard to be a decent human being. It's
yeah, I saw somebody just say this. I don't know where it went. Any thoughts on why Barbecue needs a federal lawyer? What would make something be federal? I don't know. Listen, I don't know. I have no idea. I know that Barbecue, while on the panel with us the other night, it was like 7, 8 o'clock at night. She was speaking to her lawyer then. And then it turned out she needed a lawyer. Then you find out she already had a fundraiser, got over 1,000. So I don't know. What I do know is things are going to get ugly either way, right? So I think it's as simple as just abide into the cease and desist, which isn't hard to do, is basically stop your crazy accusations towards, Nick and them. So I don't know. Hey, Pam. Well, Lilith, I think I think a lot of these people that are cheering us on are going to be surprised if it turns around the same thing happens to them, right? Because the Proudfoots have every legal stand-in to do exactly the same thing. And I wonder then how many of them are going to be celebrating and cheering that on. Because right now it's all fun and games because it's people they don't like. Hell, I don't care if you like somebody or not. Trying to silence somebody and trying to silence like their their channels and stuff, it's not okay, but I'm not surprised. It's going to happen. The thing is, more personal connection over there, right? And everything that lawyer did state, I mean, we can go over that really quick, but everything he did state, I'm not guilty of. I'll tell you that. I stood up against calling Nick's parole officer. I stood up against the racism. I stood up against the rumors that the pants were Sebastian's. I told people we need to start demanding receipts for things. So I don't know. I do know that it seems to be like this sort of payoff, if you will. Like, if you're on their quote unquote team, they're sending you super chats and you get to feel part of, and they're giving you exclusive interviews. And that is funny because you hear other people saying the Proudfoots are paying people off, but to me, that's paying people off. You see how Dog said people in the beginning came at their staff? No, Dog, that's not how it went. Right, that's what I mean. They don't know what's going on. They're getting all their information from one biased side, and it's very unprofessional, but hey, what are you going to do? Is Barbecue Lady trying to con people? I don't know. I have nothing to do with barbecue, to be honest. One-side information, nothing from the Proudfoots or Ellie or TBI. I'm like, is TBI going to come out and speak about this? Is anybody going to come out and speak about this? This has gotten so disgusting. It's unbelievable. There shouldn't even be a quote-unquote side, and that's the biggest problem. Like, when it comes to Mr. E, I was actually very respectful with Mr. E. They used to come in here. I never treated them differently. I never called out their content. I never called them liars. I was always very respectful. I wrote respectful questions, and I was immediately deleted based on a quote-unquote team. How is that right? I went into Justin's the other night, another person I've always been respectful to. We always say hi to each other in different chats and all those things. And right away, his mods are calling me a troll and telling me to get out. I'm like, oh, am I not welcomed here? Like, so why is that? Because I disagree? Because we are all fighting over people we don't know? Do you think either set of parents are going to be honest with any of us and tell us if they've done something? And yet they have all of us fighting their battles and doing their dirty work for what? For what? It's gone too far, and a lot of people are being used as pawns, and where are people at to step up about it? I don't like it. I don't like it. And
like it's like he said, it's really not even a big deal. It's bad when the person that sends, or the person that's responsible for sending the cease and desist out, have to come on and actually downplay it for everybody, right? Like, hey, it's not this big bad scary piece of paper. As long as you stop, the lies and the incitement, you're good. It's over. Like. I have received threats multiple times since I've been on YouTube. Some I have reported, some I haven't. The ones that I have, I certainly never share publicly. I've never made it public. I've
never made any threats public.
Okay.
I think if you're a creator, you always get threats at some point.
So I think the only way for us to really know if they were reported would be how would you know? I guess what, FOIA?
I have no idea.
Well, now Dog put it out there that you should report it.
This case is about Sebastian Rogers, not about all the sideshows. And as I learn about these little YouTube features, like the thumbs down thing apparently helps with the analytics in a way that gets those videos off. I think I have 20,000 of you guys on YouTube, so let's get together and thumbs down the bullies, right? Instead of giving them a platform and calling them out and trying to work with them. At the end of the day, they're going to phase themselves out. That's the best I can say right now. We are very quickly litigating with a few of these individuals, and the rest are going to phase themselves out, right, guys? You have one guy saying he calls my parole. It's very strange behavior. Do you really think they don't know I'm on it? Like, literally, guys, you're not giving any new information. Hey, do you guys know Nick the Hat is on parole? Well, yes, we do. You're calling the Pennsylvania Board of Parole. So obviously we know who he is. You guys that are watching this, try to find some of those videos and give them a thumbs down. Start giving them thumbs downs. I guess if we can unite 18, 20,000 of us, however many there are on my YouTube, go and give them a thumbs down. I don't care if they give me a thumbs down. I'm not on YouTube for the numbers. It's just not. And continuing with these wild panels, I mean, go ahead. But once you cross that line, we will be there waiting for you, just like we were with the others. And again, don't be the one to take the baton from the other creators who might be able to correct their wrongs legally and avoid the mountain of litigation, right? So if you rely on YouTube, I would tread carefully. If you're going to be making these baseless allegations, at least have some kind of evidence to back it, or use, in my opinion. It's not that hard, guys. Again, drama, go to it, give it a thumbs down, share the video and tell people to go and give it a thumbs down. Let's get rid of the hate. And the thumbs downs are just like I guess, I don't know what they do, but if they do something, let's just do it. Nevertheless, if they cross the line, we'll be waiting there at the finish line for them, and they know who they are. A lot of them know who they are, and the list did grow, but it did shrink as well. It's fluctuating right now.
Why couldn't you take him? Why couldn't you take him?
Good question. If you know that they allowed, do you think I'm threatened by you, Nick? I'll see you soon too. You can more than welcome, Nick. Do what you got to do. You're going to silence me from playing your own buddy's words? Came from his mouth, didn't it? So what's the punching bag mean? Did you just threaten me? Just threaten me, Nick? Do it again. What does that mean, Nick? Elaborate.
It's not like there's no threats, and there's no such thing as a threat with a lawsuit. It's not a threat. You're going to get sued. If it's a bogus lawsuit, you sue them back. Welcome to the legal system. That's how it works, right, guys? You get sued, you have to answer to it. You don't, it's on them. They'll answer to it because their channels will be suspended. That's why they're definitely going to answer. They're not going to just ignore it, especially when YouTube closes their account because they're waiting for an answer. The easy way out would be they don't answer. That would be amazing if they just say, oh, we never got this, and then their account is frozen and they gotta respond to get back in. Then we know they got served, right, guys? So again, don't follow the lead set by the people that are currently being barbecued in front of you. Literally the trolls that are being cooked for the crimes that we allege that they have committed.
The only reason that you are on the list of problematic people is because you're one of the worst ones. Not because I say you are, but because you are. That's your own actions. That's your own doing, Granny. It just so happens to be that you and I have personal issues, but that's where it starts and that's where it stops. Tony and Seth don't have time to be involved in my personal vendetta, nor would I ever bring them into it. I'm sorry that you think you're that important, but I got news for you. You're not. I don't think about you like that. I do want to say this though, like it's absolutely amazing that she thinks, Granny, you think that because I talked to Tony and I have talked to Seth that's why Nick came into your chat. Do you not take accountability for anything that you do? Have you not, like, does she really believe that she has been fair and she hasn't been a part of the problem? Like the shit she has said about Seth, like she shouldn't be surprised. She should have known that she was going to be one of them. That doesn't have anything to do with me. We have been harassed.
Yep.
Our channels have been harassed. How many nights have we been live and we've been bombarded by people from over there on them channels coming after us and just lashing out?
We're not doing anything wrong.
No, because they don't like what we're talking about.
That's right. Because they don't like what we're talking about. And we're not attacking them either. I don't understand where they're getting that from.
Thank you, Black. Thank you, sweetheart. Lolly said Katie was in charge of Sebastian when he was taken advantage of and when he went missing. Makes you wonder who's guilty. Not. It's okay, Tony. I'm glad that you're hearing this because I think this is ridiculous. All right, here we go.
Pissed when you started doxing your family, your dad, bringing people into it that have nothing to do with nothing. Like that shit crossed the line, man. Like that didn't have nothing to do with nothing. And like I said, nobody spoke about his parents. Nobody has gotten like that. You know what I mean? Nobody's been nasty like that. Nobody's even spoke on Seth's parents at all, even though they've trashed the fuck out of Chris's parents.
Really, Queen? Really? So you cool with Granny? Bold-faced lies about my children. My kid's school was called. I still don't know who did that, but I do question if you had something to do with it. Sure do.
That's
I
low.
think you did.
Low.
That's my opinion. I can't prove it, but I do think you had something to do with it. Sure do. About how far? Okay, let me see.
With what you're saying. Now, those people that are doing shows over there, are they being cautious with what they're saying?
Hell no.
It's a lot of negative things being said with no basis or information or factual information to even speak on anything that's anything remotely close to what they are talking about.
You know, Nick the Hat and Dog, as you guys know, Tony Mathis and Seth Rogers are now a part of Nick and Dog the Bounty Hunter's legal team.
The legal reps are not just Overdog and they're not just Overdog and Nick anymore. They cover for Seth and Tony as well. Well, with that being said, Nick has made it clear that they are watching all of these what we call quote unquote hate channels, namely, and it's not the people that are speaking out against Seth because they dislike him. It's when you outright slander and defame his name. You guys, why I'm talking about Granny tonight, okay? I'm not just bringing her up on a whim. I have some things to say because for the past 2 days, she has accused me of being the reason that Nick the Hat went after her the other day. You know, it's all my fault. I'm the reason that all these things are, I'm the reason that they, you know, she's got Nick and the others' attention. I'm not the reason that Nick is looking at you, Granny. It has nothing to do with me. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry, y'all. It just so happens to be that one of the people that has, you know, been my worst enemy through all of this, the one person who has attacked me the most, ironically, just so happens to be one of the worst attackers of Seth Rogers. What do you want me to say? I mean, if you had to ask me from the things I saw, she's easily top 2 in the worst, like, as far as like, you know, making fun of him, calling him fat, accusing him of being an absentee father, accusing him of, you know, trying to get back at Katie because he wants to be with her versus, you know, find his son, taking her own personal feelings from her own past relationships and, you know, trying to put that on Seth, like claiming that he reminds her of his ex. That has nothing to do with Seth. Your ex and Seth, I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Then don't listen to her, Boston. I don't. As a matter of fact, guess how I found out about her saying all the crap she said yesterday? I got messages from my subscribers. People started emailing me like crazy midday yesterday. Brittany, you need to let Dog and Nick the lawyers bust this little drama. You know what? Like, I'm seriously going to talk to Nick. Like, I have nothing to do with what's going on, but maybe I will talk to Nick. Like, honestly, because this is my personal life. This made this post. Okay? Let me read this to you all, okay? She says, imagine this. Your loved one's life is tragically ended. You set up a memorial spot to honor their short-lived life. An angry man comes out with a weapon in his hand, demanding that you leave the memorial and take it all with you, destroying the place that you built to honor. Remember and feel close to where your loved one's last breath was taken. Does this sound like someone who cares about victims or has human decency at all? Tons to discuss tomorrow morning. I hope to see you all there. All right, you're a psycho. You're not going to do this. I'm not going to allow you to take a situation that you are so wrong about. It's laughable how wrong you are. You're so wrong about it. And you're going to sit there and twist it and try to make like this right here. This right here proves many things. Tell y'all the story of what happened because I refuse to allow this girl to do this to me anymore. And to any mod that I confided in that went over here and told her a screwed up story, you need Jesus too. I was on YouTube. I was actually live when it happened. For anybody that may not know, there was a 20-year-old boy who he unfortunately was driving and drinking. He was coming back from a Halloween party. He was drinking and driving, and he was going like maximum speeds, and he basically went off the road into my ditch, and the impact was so hard that it felt like a bomb. It went off at my house. Okay, it woke my father-in-law out of his sleep. It was absolutely devastating, and he passed away on impact. You ask me, why is Granny all in my business? Ask yourself, why does she have her nose in my personal life? I want y'all to think about this. This is my personal life. This isn't YouTube. So they set up a memorial in my yard. It's in my yard. The memorial stays up for about a year. Now, the entire time, nobody said anything. Everybody was fine. Nobody had problems with the memorial being up. Okay, in my yard, it was up for about a year, and we started getting woken up. Like there would be lights shining in my kids' windows, loud music, people outside talking. They were going out there in my yard in the middle of the night, getting drunk. At this time, I had to reach out and call law enforcement because I was being threatened online too. So not only did we have people coming up drinking in my yard, you know, we're finding alcohol outside of our house constantly, you know, loud music at 12 o'clock at night. Fuck you, Granny. Fuck you for coming at me and making this story something that it's not. So we asked them to move it. And if that makes me evil, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I talked to Nick. Okay, I talked to Nick today. I talked to Tony today. And I'm seriously gonna talk to Nick. Like I haven't. All they want to do is make these people stop dragging Seth and putting all these allegations out here that's inciting a mob. It's not just the fact that these people are saying the things they're saying, but they're putting these false accusations out into the drama sphere. And then you have all these people that watch them, you know, the 1,200 in chat at a time, taking these allegations and running chat to chat. And I mean, look at the mess it's created. But I cannot preface this any more than I have already. Y'all, I can't stress it enough. They are not trying to take anybody down. That's not what they want to do. And I can't understand why people are making such a big fuss about this either.
It's good to see all of you in here. Sorry, I was looking at messages. It's so funny because, well, we'll get into a few things, but ironically, my dang old post didn't say anybody's name, but somebody sure as hell took that very personally. And then I saw people calling that a dox, and I'm like, what? how would you feel post with no names as a dox? Wow, that's news to me. So kind of at the point where if like you support doxing, if you cheer it on, if you excuse it, well then surely you're okay when it comes to you. Well, rest assured, I'm not a doxer. Despite what these people want to cry and complain and say and do, I'm not a doxer. I don't have to dox. We're going to show more and more because she's feeling really emboldened. I don't know if anybody else picked up on it because not many people watch, including myself. But she started off at the beginning of the stream saying she's never spoken to Nick, and by the end of this stream, she was saying how she spoke to Nick and Tony that day. Just like making that post led to her crying for 30 minutes about being a victim. Now, the only victim is the family whose lives, their loved one's life was lost that night. And instead of coming out with some human decency and saying, hey, can you turn down your headlights or, can you refrain from leaving a mess behind when you leave here, which I don't believe happens. Your badass shut-in of a boyfriend goes out because that's the truth of what happens. So I don't know if she forgets, but she told this story about a year ago and it was a stark difference. So yeah, I have no problem with my record being out there again. I've never hidden it. I am in recovery. I did some shitty shit and I pay for it every day. I also make up for it every day. What I have a problem with is bringing my family in it who's not on YouTube. That's what I have a problem with. But since all of you that supported it don't have a problem with that, you surely won't have a problem with what I showed today, okay? And again, it won't be doxing, but it will be showing you all some inside information to who these people are. That's all. So Brittany, for whatever reason, took my community post to be very personal. And I believe it was even stated up here. I think, Heather, if I'm correct, you were part of Brittany. I was actually friendly with Brittany at the time that this accident took place because I remember it. So the fact is, I know he was threatening them with a pew and caught charges for pulling down the memorial. Now, Brittany claims that it was okay, the memorial, that they were out there drinking and the bright lights were going through the windows and keeping the kids up and all those things and, whatever may be it. You also took down the memorial. You trashed the memorial of a 20-year-old whose life was taken too soon. That's absolutely horrific. So I'm going to show you all this memorial spot. But hold on, because I forgot to exit out the address. So hold on. This is the memorial that was such a burden on this family. This is the memorial. He was 20 years old when on Sunday, October 30th, he tragically lost his life by going off-road into this ditch. Giselle, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Does this look like it's something that would be such a bother to you on a property?
No. God
And
rest
then
his soul.
you have her saying that the lights were keeping their kids up because the driveway, right? Brittany, you have no problem with doxing. And lucky for you, I'm not going to dox. So there would be a police report about these people drinking and drugging and they getting in their cars driving, right? But she has several different ones, Heather. I will agree with that. So this memorial spot, let me make sure you can't see. Okay. Because unlike you, Brittany, I'm not going to dox you. And I would never celebrate somebody doxing your family. But I am going to show what a liar you are. This memorial spot is right there. Look at the distance. This is memorial spot. That's the driveway. Memorial spot, driveway.
Oh, wow.
It's not even, it's not right here in front. It's not up here past their fence. It's on the side.
Yep.
And it's far enough away from the driveway, in my opinion. There are many ways, like I said, that could be resolved without literally breaking down a memorial for a 20-year-old that lost their life. There are many ways you can go about respectfully asking for changes to be made that does not inquire disrespect in the deceased.
Yep.
And in my opinion, it was a strong disrespect to the deceased, and I don't think there's any justification for it. And I don't think there's any justification for going out there with, toting a weapon in hand, threatening. Well, what we're supposed to believe now is young adults, right, that are supposedly out there drinking and recklessly leaving behind trash. Well, and I was just wondering is that even considered their property at that point? It's hard. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell from just a photo. But nonetheless, this is a memorial spot, a tiny little memorial spot for this young adult whose life was tragically taken too soon. He was a junior fireman, so I find it insulting that you're thinking all his friends and family that come by to honor him are alcoholics and drug addicts. Okay.
But why would you call the police?
Right. Why wouldn't you call the police? If there's people outside your property that are drinking and drugging, why aren't you calling the police? Right here, he was proud to be a junior fireman, a volunteer fireman. He was affectionately known, enjoyed riding horses, rodeos, four-wheeling, hunting, and fishing. He loved his truck, hanging out with his friends and his family, and his dog, Gage. This is the young man.
That's sickening.
His memorial. Yeah. After she heard the bang and knew somebody was just passed, she still continued her live stream. And again, I'm still not doxing. Let's make that very clear. This isn't doxing. And yeah, he didn't just take it down. He downright trashed it. He trashed it.
Enforcement took him around and talked like he's privy to information that no one else is, right?
Privy or pervy?
Yeah, pervy. And
did everybody see the brand new little blurb for STD girl?
No.
Oh.
Say that again.
What? You guys taught me that she's called STD girl.
Yes. Where can I find this at?
Wait a minute. Did I miss something?
Chlamydia.
Oh.
Yeah, STD.
Yes.
The new what? Blurb?
There was a little blurb. She got a CND and she is pissed.
Where can I? Is she live about it? Did she not know that? Come on, she had to know it was coming.
I
She
feel
got
like
what? War
I
Eagle.
I've been going to sleep early, so I feel like I missed out on a lot. Oh, man.
I didn't know that. I thought she already got it.
Look on War Eagle.
Tony Mathis, thank you. He said, "Stop." Right? Go ahead and screenshot it. What is it? I was gonna say troll huggers. Go ahead and screenshot it. Bridge huggers. Thank you so much, Tony, for the super chat. Yeah, this is for the contractual agreement. Thank you. Just going to say this, okay, because there's some things that I can't say right now, but I can tell you this, okay? There are two different scenarios. The situation with Uncle Taco is different than this post that I'm reading about, okay? The post that I'm reading about is not the same issue that goes with what Uncle Taco is talking about. The post that I'm reading from Lesniak is relevant to another person that's working on the case. So this is why I wanted to read this and talk about it too, because I made a community post asking why the hell is this happening? This is not okay. And people commented on it saying that they can't believe that, I would go with this with having no proof. Okay. Guidance says, no, it's possibly connected. I know who you're talking about. Okay. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, Guidance. I really wouldn't. But what was I saying? People are saying that, they don't believe this. I want to say this. This is Lesniak, Joseph Lesniak. He is the one posting this. If you think for 1 minute that this attorney is going to risk his job, his credentials, his livelihood over some kind of internet beef, you got another thing coming. This isn't just a creator posting this. If he posted it, he's vetted the situation. And I don't know how people can say that, this man's lying. This isn't some creator just trying to one up somebody over internet beef. You know what I mean? What happened is there's somebody that's working on the team, right? They're en route to Tennessee to go help in the search. Right. And someone who Lesniak is referring to as a troll, so a troll, let's just call him that, contacted TBI and alleged that the persons that are on the way to search are posing as TBI agents, wearing badges and going around pretending to be some agents.
But they're not there yet. They're on the way.
Right,
that doesn't make any sense.
So luckily, when TBI reached out to the people that are headed to Tennessee, it immediately debunked it because that's what Lesniak's saying right here. It says, let me see. It has come to our attention that an individual falsely reported to authorities that several searchers associated with that night and the dog the bounty hunter were brandishing TBI badges and entering homes unlawfully. Rules for thee and not for me. Just like, people can actually, there's the last couple of days, there have been people talking about, I don't know if you guys saw where Savage showed, I think Savage showed a picture of a car in a random driveway. She made sure to block out, there was nothing else. All you could see was the car. And I've heard people say, oh, why are we looking up other people's houses on Google? I thought we don't do that. Who rocks with somebody who's looking up people's houses on Google? My house was just shown, well, not my house, but my whole yard was just shown on a Google Earth on a live stream 5 days ago. My entire yard was shown on Google Earth on a damn live stream. And what do you think? How do you basically, you just doxed me. You gave everybody the keys to dox, to find where my house is at. Guess what? The streets were silent. Wasn't a thing said. You know why? Because when it comes to me, there are different rules. People can go as low as they want. They can speak on my kids. They can look my house up on Google Earth and show it to all of the YouTube streets. They can share videos of my kids or try to get access to my kids. They can my house. You did dox me, Granny. Showing my house, showing my yard in my street, and lying on Craig constantly. And I'm gonna ask this now. I'm asking for I want all the pictures. I want that. I'm asking you to take all of the images of me, all of the images of my yard. I want all of them off of your channel. And any of you.
This is cyberbullying.
It's one thing to talk shit. If you want to talk shit about me, go ahead. That's life. There's nothing I can do about that. I can handle that. I don't want anybody to think that I forgot about Betty. Betty, I'll just say, I'm aware of everything that happened with Betty, but we've got a plan. And I got the screenshots, but Yvette, make sure you get those screenshots so we can send that with the rest of the stuff.
Tiffany, you're not gonna believe this. I just got this fucking crazy ass lawsuit from Seth Rogers.
What?
Uh-huh.
You got a lawsuit?
I don't think I'm named in it, but a woman named Barbecue Lady and Granny's Watching.
Ooh.
Plaintiffs.
I thought Granny was going to be next. Barbecue Lady's the one that.
Let's see. Brittany Nicole Jackson, Christina O'Donnell, Julia Valentini. I don't know how to pronounce that. And you have Plaintiff Nicholas. This is a legitimate lawsuit filed towards actual people on this app. So I don't know what you're talking about. So if you want to watch, watch. If you don't, leave. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care. Case stems from a criminal enterprise led by defendants which operates through coordinated online harassment. It is. It's like a RICO. Holy crap. Oh. This case stems from a criminal enterprise led by defendants which operates through coordinated online harassment, defamation, indictment of threats against plaintiffs. Defendants' actions have severely obstructed the ongoing search for missing teenager Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers and have caused irreparable harm to the plaintiffs and their efforts. This memorandum outlines the pattern of illegal and harmful conduct engaged in by defendants, which not only violates Pennsylvania's Corrupt Organizations Act, but also federal laws governing harassment and criminal intimidations. Like, you can't call somebody a pedo. That's not a pedo. You can't call somebody, a thief. That's not a thief.
You guys want to see it? Let's see.
Let's see it.
Okay. Let me see if I can do it the right way. All right.
So yes, so that is what we are looking at. This is massive, and I've kind of hinted at this a little bit. I've been thinking this for a little while, and I kind of just go back to kind of where I first started thinking this way as far as conspiracy. I don't think people realized what they had walked into. When we first started looking at the case, I think we were all kind of once we started to realize it was a crime and not a runaway situation, then I started to develop the theory that at least 2, 3, and then over time, I came to believe that anywhere from 3 to 5 people probably had direct knowledge of exactly what happened. And privately, I've had the idea that even more than that probably know bits and parts. And once I started thinking that way, I started, we kind of just started discussing the possibility of conspiracy charges, which are always possible in any kind of crime. And
I just wanted to address this. B in Florida says, has it been served yet? Because Granny BBQ over at Queen Bee saying they have not been served. That we don't know. The documents are up on the website, the court website. So
yeah, I don't know about service yet. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That'll be up to them.
If they haven't, they will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mr. E, did you talk about the percentage success rate of RICO filed cases?
No.
I didn't see percentage. I just saw that it was rare.
I think it's a 98% success rate on the filing of RICO cases and being proven.
Some people have to learn the hard way, but I feel some sympathy for people that, in a sense. I don't want anyone getting in this kind of trouble, but you can't mess around with this. This is RICO.
But ultimately, don't you think it's because it has impeded with the actual investigation is the whole reason behind these charges, not just to go after these people, but to go after the enterprise that's causing the hang up in the investigation? That's my interpretation. Is that what you see as the reasons behind it?
Yes.
Hey, Granny, what's up?
Hey, am I here?
Yeah, how are you?
Good. I don't even know how everybody else had this. I didn't even.
You're up here.
I had no idea until I tuned into Molly, which she got it from TM, who's directly connected to whatever. But I only saw what I'm getting snippets of. I don't have the papers. I can't even get them to load on my computer, so I don't know how everybody even has them. I don't have them.
Christ. Your name, it's your lawsuit, and you can't even get the papers.
Nope.
Jesus Christ. Listen, I'm really sorry this has happened. And again, as I said before, I'm not fighting with you. Whatever I can do to help you, you let me know.
I appreciate that. I think it's because I'm a PA resident. I was an easy target. Again, they mentioned They mentioned billboard money. I had nothing to do with billboard money. I didn't raise that money.
You have no connections to raising money for that at all.
Yeah, and you know there's not a lot that in here that they can actually get me for. I think it is definitely not that I'm not going to take it serious. I'm taking it very serious, but it's not up. They have the burden of proof, and they're going to have a hard time proving that I've done the things that are being claimed because I'm not. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, the problem is like they're trying to freaking do this to make you waste money or trying to, so I guess the situation is like that. That's what their intent is. Their intent is to try to make you waste money, waste time, to go after you, to intimidate you, and that's what I feel like that's what it is. Because like it doesn't even make sense. Like how are you part of an illegal organization that's trying to make money through RICO? It doesn't even make sense. You're on YouTube. You talk about people. What is the RICO? I must be like ignorant.
Oh, is there claims of RICO in there?
Yeah,
okay, I didn't even know that's what it says in there. Also,
you haven't been served, so
right.
You know,
I mean, no, the fact that first off, again, I'm trying to be careful what I say. I might have hurt some feelings or said some unfavorable things, but I never made accusations. I never made threats. I never raised money for billboards.
Yeah.
You know, nothing. So I just love to see what they really have.
The problem with that is, Steph, is that you can't. Apparently, if you talk about this case, people will come after you, and that's it makes it feel like, well, why even talk about it? Why should anyone talk about this case now if they're going to be threatened with federal injunctions and sued and accused of being part of a RICO act?
About these enterprises, and this part's got me interested too, Justin. Like hearing that there's this weird underground behind the scenes thing going on.
Well, I mean, this attorney does. I mean, I just read it. He knows how to get the information.
Yeah.
That he needs. RICO law.
Mm-hmm.
RICO law.
I think that this is going to go so much further than we know, you guys. Because, like I said, don't look to me for information or Justin. Like the only thing that I really know is about my filing. You know what I mean? I'm not privy to anything else. So this stuff that we're reading in this filing is news to me too. So when I see them speaking about enterprises and things going on behind the scenes, it really makes me wonder. I'm like, damn, because I'm just an average person that's got a channel that comes on here to hang with y'all at night, talk about true crime. But it really looks like some of this stuff is going to open the doors to a lot of things that none of us knew were going on.
Read Tony's.
What?
Where are you at, Mr.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
This is the second. Is it the second cease and desist that Seth has put out before?
Yes.
And and this is what happens after a cease and desist, right? The cease and desist is saying, okay, tone it down or knock it off, right? And well, here we are.
Yep.
This is why we can't have nice things.
That's so funny, but it's so true though. So yeah, don't play with the RICO law. Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, tugs on heart. She's violent. She needs to be stopped. I just want to be able to come hang out with you guys and talk about things that I enjoy, that cases, true crime cases, and to be able to be around you guys. Hang on 1 second, guys. Good Lord. Thank you, Yvette. I love you. Thank you for that, for doing that. I could get 1 to 20 years in prison. Thus, this is serious. Why did I say they could get 1 to 20 years? Here's the thing. I don't even want anybody to go to jail. I don't want any of that. I don't want anybody to go to jail. I don't want to take anybody's money. I don't want to disrupt anybody's life. All I want is for her to do what she does and let me do what I do. Stop doing things to where I have to worry about my children's happiness and well-being affected. Okay? Why? Because you hate me? Hate me silently. How about that? And that's all I'm going to say.
Filed an injunction. Sebastian Rogers. News 2's Caitlin Quisenberry breaks down statements included in this lawsuit.
An 18-page injunction backed by a 323-page list of exhibits and testimonies was filed last Friday. The plaintiffs include Dog the Bounty Hunter, Sebastian Rogers' father, Seth, and the father's spokesperson, Tony Mathis, as well as YouTuber Andrew Griffin. The lawsuit alleges 2 influencers, a YouTuber and TikToker, created a, quote, coordinated campaign of cyber harassment, false allegations, and witness intimidation. The lawsuit ties back to the search for missing Sumner County teen Sebastian Rogers. He was last seen in February at his family home in Hendersonville. Dog the Bounty Hunter joined the search for Sebastian in September and added $75,000 to the reward for information, now totaling $125,000. The plaintiffs claim the influencers encourage their subscribers to flood tip lines and law enforcement with false reports, have threatened Dog the Bounty Hunter and other searchers, allegedly slowing down critical travel and coordination for search efforts. A spokesperson for Sebastian's father said one of the influencers threatened to, quote, take him down, while Sebastian's dad wrote, quote, I'm fighting against a coordinated group of individuals who seem more interested in destroying me than helping to find my boy. He went on to say, quote, if my son dies out there, they'll have blood on their hands. The lawsuit urges the influencers to stop any disparaging comments about the plaintiffs, remove any previous video content doing so, and ask their subscribers to follow their example. A press conference.
Really, you are going to tell me that any of them would have said no to a pro bono lawyer? I don't believe it, especially. And I gotta be careful. I can't say much about litigation at all, okay? But I think it's okay for me to say, especially, right, when their children are being brought into this, right? Basically, why am I doing it on the path that I'm doing it on? And basically, why am I taking part in this filing and not doing it on my own volition? Well, do you have several $1,000s to hire an attorney to file litigation?
For the skunks, we gave you guys a lot of chances, and the ones that are still running around, you know who you are. I've never seen something like that, and I am very interested to see what the court's reaction is going to be, because love me if you want, hate me if you want, call me a fraud if you want, call me fake news if you want, call me a felon if you want, call me a parolee if you want. The law is the law. So when you go into court, you can't tell the judge, all right, Your Honor, he's on parole, so I can do. Please give me a break. That's not going to work. If you think that's going to work, re-strategize. And there are more people that are being added. That is, I guess, the big news. Not really big news. It's just a few more. And guess what? There's going to be 50 people by the end of this. So more are being added as of yesterday. More defendants have been added to the case. Not many, but we are aiming for 50. And that's the number that we have. Likely 49, or I think it was 49, the actual number. But that's a lot of people that are going to have a lot of explaining to do. It's not a joke. It's not a joke at all. It's with the courts. They can't just say, oh, we're throwing this in the trash. No, everybody's going to get heard. All 10 plaintiffs, in addition to the next batch of 10 that are being added, will be heard. So again, it's a class action injunction. It's not a lawsuit. It's an injunction. And it's a serious thing. And I don't care if you don't take it serious. I am just giving advice, I guess, to the people that don't. You should, because there's no to drag yourself into something that we all know you won't be able to afford to get out. Now, maybe there are YouTubers, not in this case, on YouTube that can afford litigation, probably two. And that includes people that have 150 million followers and subscribers. Not anybody that has under 1 million, not anybody that has under 15. If you have under 25 million subscribers and you think you're going to win, stop. Again, the company that is coming for you has gone after Jeff Bezos. And subscribers, not anybody that has under 1 million, not anybody that has under 15. If you have under 25 million subscribers and you think you're going to win, stop. Again, the company that is coming for you has gone after Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon. Same people that are behind this. And at the end of the day, they won. He lost. He's the world's richest man. So it's obvious that it's not going to work. If you don't live here, and there are a number of you that don't, that are being added to the case, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be compelled to come to Pennsylvania. The way it works is we file here, add you to the case, then send an attorney from, let's say, Virginia to a court in Virginia where they'll have a hearing without you there. They will enforce that subpoena and that case against you. And then deputies in Virginia will serve you. And if you want to be part of the case because you're a problem, it's an open invite. Ask the two people that are being added, that I'm sure if they know, cool. If they don't, they'll know tonight or tomorrow. They should know. Maybe they're keeping it quiet. But ask them what they would do different 2 weeks before today. You know what they would have done different? They would have stayed out of this because this is serious. There is a child that is missing and a corporation that's going to stop at nothing to find him. They will take you to court in all the states that they have to. They will drag you on a tour from New York to Florida to Tennessee to Pennsylvania. Everywhere we have an office, you will be there. So don't jump in. We want to work with you guys. We want to work with creators. We want to work with YouTubers. And guess what? We are. Not just the creators that are on the Sebastian case, but we're talking to some very high profile creators that have nothing to do with true crime. Ones that operate YouTube. Ones that their numbers are YouTube. Without them, they wouldn't be YouTube. Those are the strategies we're working on. And you can be with the likes of those creators. You can be on the right side of this, and you can end up possibly coming out of this case as not a creator, but as an individual who was part of a movement that ended the hatred that has ruined the chances of finding a dozens of missing children. A legal team that we are assembling, aside from the one we have, they deal with appellate law, they deal with the Supreme Court of the United States, and we are hiring experts in the field of essentially the rights you get as being an American. As when you're born in America, you have, or if you are a U.S. citizen, you have rights. You have a constitution that protects those rights, and there are laws. They have to be followed. So that's the update, guys. There really is nothing to report per se, except that Sebastian is still missing. And again, the goal is to bring him home by getting the skunks to slow down. And I'll stop calling them skunks when they stop spraying the hate. I wouldn't, honestly, I'm the kind of person, and if Granny's watching, I'm the kind of person that would, at the end of the day, shake your hand and say thank you for stopping that and helping us find Sebastian. If that's your goal, call our lawyers. We'd love to speak with you. We offered that to Barbecue. You know what she said? Get effed. And now, look what she's doing. Don't go down with her because you want to set an example. It's not going to work, but it will work for you to have a great career on YouTube if you get away from those weirdos that are trying to drag you in and probably make you a scapegoat. That's honestly the vibe I'm getting. I'm sorry. I guess I'm giving you advice that I shouldn't because it would be great on my end if they were to take you out themselves, but it's just, I don't want to give them that satisfaction. I know that they are that dirty, and if they're going to do that to you, we'll take you in before them. Even though we're the ones suing you, we are suing you only because we want you to stop breaking the law. Stop breaking the law. Stop. That's it. You can discuss the case. You can give opinions. You can't say stuff like, this individual is a murderous pedophile. You can't say that. You can't say that this individual had something to do with somebody that died on their yard. You can't say that. Now, the fact that the people that you never met are willing to help you speaks volumes, because it does. It speaks volumes. You're taking advice from the wrong people, the people that are going to make you a scapegoat, and I feel bad. I feel bad. That's why I'm telling you this. I know we have our differences, but we are from Delco. I don't think we ever met, but I will tell you that these TikTokers are trying to make you the scapegoat. It's obvious because when you went on that panel, if you notice and go through the comments, you'll see that they kind of hyped you up to get on the panel, and then they gave you the right line of questioning to go with their case. But I guarantee you the lawyers are saying, hey, get Granny to go on there. We can try to throw stuff on her. Do you really think that Barbecue Lady is going to save you? Please give me a break. She wouldn't save herself. This isn't an invite only. It's open invite. If you want to invite your friends, invite your friends. We've got plenty of space. We have a lot of space. I think you can have as many people as you want. So tell your friends if they want to get involved. It's never too late. Even if on the day before this is over, they can still get involved, and it'll just prolong it by another 4 years. That's fine. But we're not going anywhere until not just that first layer of hate is gone, but until the individuals that we are speaking with every day, the likes of YouTube compliance, he's the vice president of YouTube's compliance department, the division that goes over doxing. We're speaking with TikTok's compliance for their American, they have to follow a lot of US law, given the fact that they are an overseas organization. And they are cooperating. You know why? They don't like against the law stuff. I know some of you think you're slick and you're going to wait a month or two and then try to jump in. It's not happening. We're pulling you guys in, even if we think you're good. Even if you haven't said much yet, you're getting pulled in if you said just one thing, just so we can make sure that you're not going to pop out again. That's been the problem that this Tennessee has had for the past year, is every time they think they solve the problem, another 15 idiots pop out with the same thing. Not happening here. We have a list of everybody that did that last time, and they're being added to the case. And we have a list of people who might do it this time, and they're being added to the case. That's the beautiful thing about RICO. You don't need to know each other. You just have to have connections that ultimately link with one another. I am pretty sure that Barbecue has a connection that 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 knows Clue, that knows so that's how RICO works. It's not about, I don't know that person. Well, I know you don't. That's the beautiful thing about it. This is your first modern day RICO case, and it's going to make case law, because this case is going to decide if RICO is applicable to gangs on the internet. And I will leave it up to the courts to decide that, but this is going to be a benchmark case because they will decide, is RICO applicable to YouTube creators? Is it? I don't know. We're asking the court. We'll find that out, and obviously you will too. As soon as we have a hearing date, we'll let you know. There will be a hearing, and there will be many hearings. It's not going to be just one. And as far as Granny's watching, if you are watching, this was in no way meant to slam you, but you are being taken advantage of by the other side, being your co-defendant. They think that, honestly, if I were you, I would have an attorney before you speak with her and her attorney, because her attorney is telling her what to tell you, and it's helping their strategy. Not that I care about strategy, but it's a shame to see you get really thrown into the ringer by the same person that is protecting you, please reach out to Joe Lesniak if you want, and he can, if you have an attorney, put him in touch with him. And if you don't, still, Joe is happy to help you find an attorney for the first appearance, I'm sure, and also so you can have an attorney present when we discuss getting out of this thing for you, because there's a way out for some of the people that are in this. Others, there is no way out. The only way out is going to be by the judge's decision, that the judge is going to decide their ultimate fate. But some of you have a way out, and Granny, you are one of them. You are somebody that has a way out. Just if you have an attorney, please have him reach out to Lesniak. If you don't, still, you could shoot Lesniak an email. You can call him. He's allowed to, I believe he can speak to you as long as he gets you an attorney or helps you get an attorney, but we will make sure that that happens if we have to. Again, please reach out. Stay safe, everybody. Stay vigilant. Stay out of the way. If you are a random person that's watching this, like, no matter what, we're not ending. We're not settling. We're going through litigation. We're going through depositions, and we're going to go to trial for some of these people. This is going to be a 4 to 5 year litigation. Let me put that back in. This won't end until the year 2030. There's going to be a new president, a whole new world by then. That's when this is going to be over. So next time you click go live, think about that. And if you want to be stuck on that live until 2030 with the rest of the people that are, that's fine. If you do, think about that. It's going to be a very long time, because by the time this thing gets to a jury, we're talking 6 years.
Somehow say that because I signed a small portion of that filing, that I am responsible for everything that happens, when that couldn't be further from the case. Another thing too, other people's parts in that filing don't have anything to do with me. I don't know how people keep getting that mixed up, but that's not how it works. I have my part, they have theirs. You know, if something happens with mine, that doesn't have anything to do with theirs, or vice versa. Like, because I keep hearing that argument, like, you know, so and so, I don't know, they'll say so and so told us a lie or something, right? Therefore, that's going to make the whole filing implode. No, each person has a part. Yes, it's an entire filing, but each person has their part. And people are like, well, you should know about everybody's. No, I shouldn't. That's not the only thing that I need to focus on is my own.
Okay, we're going to take a look at the actual relief sought in this injunction, because BJ wants to keep saying that she wasn't asking for anything but Granny to shut up about her. What they were really asking for did include money and several other things. And BJ, you're not separate from the rest of the plaintiffs. It is all one case. So let's look at each thing. Relief sought, wherefore plaintiffs respectfully request that this court enter judgment in their favor and against defendants, granting the following relief. And we have a preliminary injunction. And the first one is prohibiting them from disclosing or recording any private conversations. That's not a problem for Granny, so that one's not a big deal. Now, in my opinion, number 2 is where we already start seeing what I think was an attempt to railroad Granny and Barbecue into being quiet, because they know that they're single mothers without the resource to defend themselves, without the help of their platforms. So number 2 said direct defendants to cease the use of crowdsourcing or fundraising platforms, including but not limited to GoFundMe, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Pay, YouTube Super Chats, to solicit funds for legal defense or any other purpose related to litigation. All fundraising must be transparent and no misleading statements about the case. Again, I think that they knew that they would not be able to afford this without the help of their platforms. And this was, in my opinion, an attempt to shut them down right at the start. If they can't raise money, they can't go any further. And I think that was the plan. Number 3, prohibiting Granny and Barbecue, along with their associates, from making defamatory or disparaging statements regarding Seth, Tony, At Night, or any other named individuals, whether direct or indirect, through any platform or medium, to prevent further harm to plaintiff's reputation and emotional distress. Now, I don't know, does this mean that they get to set what they say, what they think are disparaging terms? Because different people feel like different terms are disparaging. For BJ, emotional distress could be caused by her hair looks greasy. So I feel like, this is a very fine line. You could easily infringe on their free speech, because you're telling them basically they can't say anything negative about any of the plaintiffs. So where's the line on that? How do they decide what is disparaging and what isn't? And then number 4 is again about doxing, directing defendants, Barbecue Granny, to cease any attempts to portray, disclose, or release private information, identities, or family details of plaintiffs and associated individuals, whether through social media, public forums, any other channels, to protect safety and privacy of those involved. Okay, that's not an issue, not a big deal for number 4. Okay, number 5 is a big deal. Require defendants, Barbecue and Granny, to immediately remove any existing online content, video, post, publications that reference any of the 10 plaintiffs in a defamatory, harassing, or intrusive manner, and certify in writing that it's been permanently removed. Now, this is going to include any video that they feel is disparaging to them. And again, I ask, who decides what is disparaging? What is harassment? Because we know that BJ has a very low threshold for harassment. So that's going to be a lot of content that Granny has to remove, and that is money lost. When you take down all of that content, you're losing revenue and view hours. So it is a big deal. And it's also infringing on free speech because there are going to be things that aren't defamatory by law, but they feel are negative towards them that she has to take down simply because they don't like what's being said about them, in my opinion. And number 6, BJ, listen up. Order defendants, Granny and Barbecue, to reimburse plaintiffs for any cost incurred in addressing or mitigating harm caused by defendants' unauthorized disclosures and defamatory conduct, including, but not limited to, legal fees, investigative costs, and any necessary remedial actions. Now, in my opinion, they are going to try to get as much money as they can. And you have to remember, in Pennsylvania, if there is RICO charges included, all monetary awards are ×3. So what this would come down to is if they took the retainer that Lesniak usually gets from people. I know they didn't pay it, and I don't know how this would work, but if he were able to take that retainer and get that ×10 plaintiffs, so Granny and Barbecue would each owe that retainer fee. Let's say it's $100,000. I know it's not, but say it's $100,000. So they would owe that ×10, and then each $100,000 is going to be ×3. So you're going to have $300,000 times 10 plaintiffs. So whatever amount they come up to, and I don't know how they are going to determine investigative cost, is that BJ gathering clips and how much time was actually spent on that? Is somebody keeping track of that? How much do they charge? Like, how do they figure that out? This feels like a very generalized amount that could include a whole lot of things because it's not limited to what they listed there. So yes, BJ, there is a request for money. It is definitely involved, and it's ×10. And then ×3 if RICO is included. Okay, number 7. This is why Granny kept saying she is fighting this for everybody, because this, in my opinion, is trying to silence us as viewers, supporters, okay? Mandate that defendants inform their audiences, including followers, supporters, subscribers, and associates, which I assume are creators that they associate with, to cease and desist from all defamatory, harassing, or threatening behavior and provide evidence to the court. Now, again, this is what defines harassing or threatening behavior, because all people have a different threshold for that. And again, BJ's is very low. So they want Granny to come on and tell everybody that is in her audience and the creators that come on her panel, you cannot talk negatively about these 10 people while you're on my panel or while you're in my chat. So that is controlling our free speech, because we should be allowed to talk about what we want, how we want. We shouldn't go into someone's chat and be told you can only talk positive about these people. That is trying to control the audience's free speech and keep us from talking negatively about BJ, about Tony, about Seth, about all of these people. And I think that that's exactly what this means. That is my interpretation, that they are trying to control even what her audience is allowed to talk about. And number 8 is just any other relief that the court deems just. And that's the preliminary injunction relief. So that would go into place once it's filed and before they go in front of the judge for the actual trial. And luckily, anti-SLAPP law exists in Pennsylvania. And we see the message that Tony sent to Barbecue Lady that says basically, I don't care if I win or lose, I just want to make you pay. Basically, I'm punishing you by making you spend all this money, and I don't care if I win or lose. So anti-SLAPP shuts stuff like that down. It keeps people from being financially drained in cases that are unjust. And in this case, the judge decided that this was infringing on free speech. It was trying to shut down their free speech. So when the anti-SLAPP is granted, that should put a stop on the financial draining. Now, of course, they've appealed, so there's more financial stuff going into it. But if the court holds the anti-SLAPP judgment up, then the court fees incurred during this appeal time will also be awarded ×3. So hopefully that happens, but it was just the relief sought in the preliminary part of the injunction. And number 8 is just any other relief that the court deems just. And that's the preliminary injunction relief. So that would go into place once it's filed and before they go in front of the judge for the actual trial. And luckily, anti-SLAPP law exists in Pennsylvania. And we see the message that Tony sent to Barbecue Lady that says basically, I don't care if I win or lose, I just want to make you pay. Basically, I'm punishing you by making you spend all this money, and I don't care if I win or lose. So anti-SLAPP shuts stuff like that down. It keeps people from being financially drained in cases that are unjust. And in this case, the judge decided that this was infringing on free speech. It was trying to shut down their free speech. So when the anti-SLAPP is granted, that should put a stop on the financial draining. Now, of course, they've appealed, so there's more financial stuff going into it. But if the court holds the anti-SLAPP judgment up, then the court fees incurred during this appeal time will also be awarded ×3. So, okay, now we're going to look at the after trial, what the relief sought in the permanent part is. And a lot of it's the same, just permanent. Number 9 is prohibiting them from disclosing or recording any private conversations, which is not a big deal. I don't think they care about that. Number 10, permanently enjoining Granny and Barbecue, as well as any agent, employee, or affiliates acting on their behalf. We see the message that Tony sent to Barbecue Lady that says basically, I don't care if I win or lose, I just want to make you pay. Basically, I'm punishing you by making you spend all this money, and I don't care if I win or lose. So anti-SLAPP shuts stuff like that down. It keeps people from being financially drained in cases that are unjust. And in this case, the judge decided that this was infringing on free speech. It was trying to shut down their free speech. So when the anti-SLAPP is granted, that should put a stop on the financial draining. Now, of course, they've appealed, so there's more financial stuff going into it. But if the court holds the anti-SLAPP judgment up, then the court fees incurred during this appeal time will also be awarded ×3. So hopefully that happens, but it's just the relief sought in the preliminary part of the injunction. And number 8 is just any other relief that the court deems just. And that's the preliminary injunction relief. So that would go into place once it's filed and before they go in front of the judge for the actual trial. And luckily, anti-SLAPP law exists in Pennsylvania. And we see the message that Tony sent to Barbecue Lady that says basically, I don't care if I win or lose, I just want to make you pay. Basically, I'm punishing you by making you spend all this money, and I don't care if I win or lose. So anti-SLAPP shuts stuff like that down. It keeps people from being financially drained in cases that are unjust. And in this case, the judge decided that this was infringing on free speech. It was trying to shut down their free speech. So when the anti-SLAPP is granted, that should put a stop on the financial draining. Now, of course, they've appealed, so there's more financial stuff going into it. But if the court holds the anti-SLAPP judgment up, then the court fees incurred during this appeal time will also be awarded ×3. So, okay, now we're going to look at the after trial, what the relief sought in the permanent part is. And a lot of it's the same, just permanent. Number 9 is prohibiting them from disclosing or recording any private conversations, which is not a big deal. I don't think they care about that. Number 10, permanently enjoining Granny and Barbecue, as well as any agent, employee, or affiliates acting on their behalf from making any defamatory or harassing statements regarding the plaintiffs and from engaging in any conduct intended to harm plaintiffs' reputation, privacy, or safety. And again, with this, I ask who decides what harassing statements are, because BJ's idea of harassment is different from someone else's definition of it. And these are also people that are going to be a little more sensitive to whatever Granny and Barbecue say about them because they're angry at them. So who decides where the line is for that? That's my question as far as that goes. Also, I'm going to state real quick that I am not an attorney. I'm not acting as an attorney. Do not take legal advice from me. I'm just telling you what I'm reading and interpreting for myself as a public nobody, okay? Number 11, directing Granny and Barbecue to return any confidential or private information obtained during the course of their conduct, including but not limited to recordings, messages, other data related to plaintiffs in whatever form, and certify no copies remain in their possession. Now, in my opinion, as a nobody, this to me sounds like if they got any information about their families or any information from friends, anything personal, confidential, during, I guess, the whole time they've known them, that they're supposed to turn that over. Now, how in the world that happens, how they decide they've turned everything over and what they have, I don't know. So, but I don't, in my opinion, I don't think Granny has a lot of that. And if she did, I don't think she would mind handing it over. I think she wants anything to do with people, and that's just my take on it. I may be wrong, but I don't see that being a problem. Number 12, barring defendants Barbecue and Granny from contacting plaintiffs or any named individuals in this action directly or indirectly through any means for any purpose other than court-sanctioned communication. Again, I don't think that this will be a problem. I don't think that Granny wants to communicate with any of them. So, deal, in my opinion. Number 13, and this one I have a problem with, mandating defendants inform their audiences, including followers, supporters, subscribers, and associates, to cease and desist from all defamatory, harassing, threatening behavior, and provide evidence to the court that instructions have been issued. So again, I feel like that this is trying to infringe on the viewer's free speech. We don't know what they consider harassing, threatening, People take, especially when they're words written out in message or text form, people can take those the wrong way. And you're trying to tell a mass group of people that they can't talk negatively about these 10 people. That's crazy to me. And I feel like that's definitely trying to infringe upon a group's free speech. And this is why Granny has always said, I'm doing this for y'all too. She is doing this for the viewers and her supporters also, because part of this injunction is trying to silence us as well, in my opinion. Number 14, ordering Granny Barbecue to reimburse plaintiffs, all 10, for costs, expenses, and damages arising from their unlawful conduct, including punitive damages as appropriate for willful and malicious actions. So again, we're here at the money part, BJ. They're asking for reimbursement for all 10 plaintiffs for all the cost, damages, expensive, punitive damages. So this would be a high number in my opinion. Again, you have to remember it's going to be times 10 plaintiffs and it's going to be tripled because there's RICO involved. So BJ, to keep repeating, she's not asking for money, flat lie. That is definitely a part of this injunction. Reimbursing them along with punitive damages. So I'm tired of hearing it. Quit saying it, BJ. You are asking for money. You realize it or not, whether you read this or not, whether it was explained to you or not, if you actually read through it, you will see part of the relief sought is reimbursement and punitive damages. And that would be Granny and Barbecue from kids having to pay 10 individual plaintiffs tripled out of money. And then number 15 is any further relief that the court deems appropriate to prevent further harm to the plaintiffs. So there you have it. And you have to remember that a lot of people, I think, have forgotten how and when this started, how big of a deal this was. These two women are being accused of RICO, a criminal enterprise. This went to the news. It was stated on mainstream media that if something happens to Sebastian, Granny and Barbecue will have blood on their hands. And this is all in Granny and Barbecue's backyard. This is their state. People think that that is not a dangerous thing to put out there. They are putting out that these women stopped the searching for this child because of their actions. All of this was done under Sebastian's name. And for the life of me, I don't understand how Granny or Barbecue did anything to impede on the search from Pennsylvania. Look, if you don't like Granny, that's fine. You don't have to. If you think that what she said about Seth was horrible and vile, I take it that you weren't listening to BJ at the time, or Justin, or Julie's chat, or Lolly's chat, where they were saying horrible things about Chris and Katie. They were describing her SA as a child in detail, accusing her of horrible things, talking about Chris doing horrible things, accusing them blatantly. Like, Granny was not doing that. Granny was actually maintaining that these parents aren't going to be honest with us. We're fighting over people that we don't know. Did she get angry when reviewing interviews and emotional and said some things that may have offended people? Yeah, but it was things that she was interpreting from what she's hearing. And everybody is doing that when they're listening to interviews in true crime. So I understand if you don't like the way she does it, don't listen to her. Nobody deserves to go through this in court. I would not approve of any creator going through this. And now she's being sued again. Granny has said nothing different than any of the other trauma creators. It's just who you piss off if they're willing to take the time and money to take you to court. And I hope everybody remembers that, because if you piss off the right person, it's going to be you. BJ starts private messaging with them. Suddenly, it's 911. BJ's got to collect everything she can, and she's thrown into a Discord that has a litigation lounge. She didn't know Barbecue. She didn't have interactions with her. She didn't get put in litigation lounge because of Barbecue. It's because of Granny. She said in her message, Nick's going after Granny first because she's local. Because what's that mean? Local means Barbecue and Granny equal RICO. Any damages they get paid out, tripled when RICO's involved. Just my opinion. I mean, the 3 times payout isn't my opinion. That's the law in Pennsylvania. But as far as everything else goes, that's my opinion on how things played out. Just really look at it and try to be neutral.
The fact that they didn't choose to end this whole injunction by just agreeing not to speak on you and your family tells me all I need to know about them and their intentions. Exactly, Ivy League. That's all it's ever been about. It wasn't to take her down. It wasn't to take her freedom of speech. It's not that hard to stop speaking on another person. It was merely to get her to leave me alone and just stop. Reason. I know for me, every one of us signed that filing. It wasn't because she lies and says that I did that to hurt her or to, with nefarious reasoning. No, it was to make you stop. To make you stop. So, I mean, it's just what I had to do was to stop talking about Brittany. Not hard. I guess it's for someone who can't make money in other ways, though. Yeah, no, they don't want to do that. She doesn't want to do that. The rest of them don't either. They want to keep going, and she's the victim. It's crazy. What world are we in? And
as far as I know, you guys originally weren't asking for any like monetary.
Nope.
So
nope.
By you, because I know that when you say like
you have children, and why would you do this? Blah, blah, blah. They're going to be like, well, we have children.
Brittany has children. Yeah. There was nothing that.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Yeah.
when I asked them for
Money,
money.
for money, her house, or nothing. Just not even for
Nothing.
freedom of speech, dude. Just
No,
don't.
I just wanted the judge to tell her to leave me alone.
Yeah, leave these people alone.
And
It's
look what
weird
happened.
how. Yeah. Yeah. It's karma.
You're leaving me with no choice but to go to a damn judge like you're a 5-year-old. I got to go run and tell the teacher and ask them to make you shut the hell up because you don't know how to be an adult and do it on your own. That's what it is. That's it. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm simply asking the judge, hey, judge, can you please make this woman leave me and my family the hell alone? All I'm asking is for you to tell her to zip it and leave me the fuck alone. She can continue talking about whatever she wants to talk about. I'm not taking her freedom of speech away. I'm asking for her to merely, one person to another, leave me alone. It's not that hard. It's quite simple, actually. Actually, it's a lot more simple than people are making it.